Likes, dislikes of season 1.
Well, the campiness I can like and dislike.
Campiness.
Like, just like the goofiness of the first season. Like how unrealistic it can be sometimes. But I also like it at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I like the campiness, but I like the happy Tony for sure. It's the only time in the show where, well, I guess 2 and 3 he's still kind of that guy, but
yeah,
he's very likable. He doesn't seem so miserable to be around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just upbeat. That's what I like about season 1. It doesn't feel depressing when you're watching it.
Yeah. For likes, dislikes, I said, boy, where to begin. Just what I wrote down. Dream sequences for one. And that's all through the show.
Yeah.
The best portrayed dream sequences I've seen on screen. Unique take on a mob story. I think that's why I succeeded so much in the beginning. Like David Chase was talking about is, basically the initial idea for the story was that, it was this mob guy who his mother essentially arranges a hit on him, and then he goes to get revenge on her, and then she's dead upon his arrival. So, obviously that's not what happened, but that's more or less what the movie would have been, if the pilot didn't go. So, a like and a dislike is just the continuity because
Yeah, that was one of my
if
dislikes.
you're looking at the rest of the show, you're kind of like, oh, well, I wish that would have been,
correct.
X, Y, and Z would have been this way. But then also it's fun to watch the show kind of get its footing. And then balance of the soap opera and mob action / also just chilling with mob guys is fun. You feel like these guys because of just the way they make you so familiar with them, and the show just has room to stretch out. I like the family sitcom vibe you get from it sometimes. Right. That's just a quick sum up of it because obviously there's lots of time to talk about all the stuff, but it's just sort of some of the broader points.
Yeah.
Did you come up with a bad trailer?
I won't lie, I forgot about that.
That's fine.
I forgot about the bad stuff today. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
It was only yesterday we talked about it.
Yeah, no, whatever.
My bad.
It's fine. I was gonna say you could obviously just, cut out all of the good family times in the show, just like any normal interactions.
Yeah.
And then just advertise it as that. As just some oh, this is just about a family and they're just
The Sopranos.
Yeah.
S-O-P-R.
Right. And then you start
it's the
into
Soprano family.
You start into the pilot and immediately, there's strippers and Chrissy kills a guy and it's just
Tony's cheating on his wife.
Throwing a dead body into a dumpster. Not into.
There's a guy named Pussy.
There's a guy named Pussy. That's not happening on Hallmark,
Sopranos on NBC.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that Mad TV sketch, right? The
Sopranos
coming to the Hallmark Channel.
Yeah.
And just every other scene's hey, what the...
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you do a bad summary? Just none of it?
I won't lie. I forgot.
No, it's fine. I had 2 bad summaries. The Potsdam Conference for bad summary, which is very funny to me because he just has that one line in episode 5. And so the thought to me of somebody going Potsdam Conference, and then it gets all the way to that joke in episode 5. Tony going, Potsdam if I know. And that just seems like the shittiest payoff ever, and that makes me laugh.
Fucking retarded.
And then the other bad summary. And because, the whole point of the bad summary is sorta, but no.
Yeah.
Everybody loves to eat.
Everybody loves to eat.
Because it's like all you do on this show.
Yeah, it's such a fat fuck. I mean,
It is.
I've seen a podcast clip where it's just two dudes. Like, it's the fattest show ever.
Yeah.
It's just fat dudes eating, sitting around, being lazy. Like, it's amazing.
One of my favorite things is like, I think it's like Robert. Yeah. Robert Aller's on Your Mom's House podcast, and he's like, it was like before he was, had a podcast on their network.
Yeah.
I think it was like the first time they were on there.
Very good, but yeah.
I don't know. I've never listened to it, but
Yeah.
but he's like, yeah. I mean, they're bringing in Chinese food, and you're starting like, 6 a.m. shoots or whatever. And he's like, where did this Chinese food come from?
Yeah.
Has
it been sitting in a fridge forever? Like,
right.
Yeah, how is this days old? The fuck? Yeah.
And like, Meadow, God, I can't remember her name. Jamie
Singer?
Jamie Lee Sigler. Anyway, doesn't matter for the sake of the conversation, but she said Edie Falco had a trick where she was just chewing gum all the time, and so she would never actually like eat what was on the plate. And she said she didn't like know that until the very end,
that like you could eat it.
Like Edie Falco was chewing gum.
Okay, yeah,
like
yeah.
Meadow's character didn't know.
Yeah.
So that was really funny.
Yeah, and you got fucking Gandolfini of the party having to like fucking fill his plates after every scene.
That was like Robert always says, like, these dudes are just finishing these plates like every time.
That's great.
Bad casting. I just did Tony and Carmela because I mean obviously there's just a ton.
Yeah, that does make me wonder with that season 6 scene when he's about to throw up. How genuine is that?
Right.
Like, is he genuinely like...
Yeah. So I just did Tony and Carmela. Just because, I mean, you could go down the whole damn...
it's the late
not
90s.
Recasting the show. So I just did Anthony Hopkins, dude that plays Hannibal
Yeah,
Lecter.
no, I know.
Because, you'd think I was Hannibal Lecter or something before.
He plays Tony like Hannibal Lecter. Or not Lecter. Jesus Christ. Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah. And then I just said Sandra Bullock for Carmela because I just think it's very out of place.
Yeah, especially if it's Anthony Hopkins and Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Oh my, yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the only bad casting I told you is just Shane Gillis as Tony.
Right.
Even though it's not the same era.
Yeah.
It's just, Tony likes history and he's fat, so.
Right. Yeah.
It's if Shane just went down. If he didn't go to college.
His comedy career didn't take off.
Then he didn't pay off and he only did a semester and a half instead.
Then all of a sudden, but like he's like the fuck around bust balls dude, so he just kind of like laughs his way into being a mob boss. Yeah, I love that.
Just keeps calling everyone gay.
Whatever. Fucking fag.
That's pretty gay. Your name's Pussy?
Sounds pretty gay to me. Yeah. All right, what do you want to talk about?
I mean, let's just start with the pilot.
Okay.
Might as well. I mean, the first note I had about it was just like, holy shit, Gandolfini's so thin in the pilot.
Right.
Like, even compared to season 1. Because it was a year before when they shot it, compared to the rest of the season. And, like, it's like, he's not fat in the first episode, really. Like, he's got a little gut, and he's just big.
Yeah.
But, like, it's just crazy, because I remember when I finished it the first time, and, he's huge by the end of season 6, and I went back and watched the pilot, and I was like, oh, my God.
Right. It's gradual through the whole show.
And it's not just his face, even. Like, he has a jawline in the first fucking episode. Like, it's insane. And then... Well, no.
Yeah, it's so gradual, and then like you just look at the front, like just the cover pictures of the episodes of season 1. And you're like,
yeah, he's
the
just
hell?
So small.
But as you go through it, and you're sitting there at season 6, you're like, well, he's always been fat. I mean, he's fatter, but he's always been fat. And then you go back and you're like, nope,
no,
he has
was
not
never
always
that
been
fat.
fat.
Yeah,
like,
no. He's always been like overweight, I guess, but even then,
you would call him
BMI's bullshit. So.
You'd call him healthy in season 1.
Yeah, no, you don't think he's gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah,
well, and then another thing is just it's the only episode in the series that has narration.
Yeah,
and it does make me wonder. Like, I mean, it's definitely. I'm glad they didn't continue with that. It's curious, like, how would they have done it if they had Tony narrating the whole show?
I guess like every episode would have to take place from
with like it has to be Dr. Melfi's. Like he has to go to therapy every episode.
Yeah,
and be telling a story. So it definitely would have hurt the show if they kept that. I think the only time there is narration, otherwise in the show, is when Vito is, he's working and he's like, "Oh, it has to be past 30 past 7." That's the only other time there's like a voiceover
for what 2 minutes maybe.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's the only other time I think.
But that's just an internal monologue.
Yeah, even then, it's not.
It's not like true narration. Yeah, no, that's an interesting thought. I mean, maybe like I could have done like selective episodes with it, but I guess you got to kind of commit one way or the other. You can't just be bouncing back and forth.
Yeah. No, for sure.
It was definitely a good move just to introduce you to the show, to the characters, to the concept.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah, and another thing is Carmela kind of sucks in the pilot, I think.
Yeah.
Like she's honestly like she's the least insufferable in season 1, probably. But like, she's just like like, how do you stay so skinny, Miss Soprano? She's all like, him with those ducks.
Yeah.
It's just like God, a woman sees a man enjoying something. It's just like God.
I think they wanted to paint in that first episode just that like Tony, he's trying to wear all the hats and he's not necessarily doing a great job on the wife front. Like that's
for
probably the relationship that suffers the most.
Oh yeah,
of any of them. Like he's pretty good with the kids. He's he's good to his mistress.
I mean, even then.
No, the mistress.
He hits the mistresses though. He never hits Carmela.
Well, only when they do crazy shit.
I don't know. I mean,
like the Gloria thing. Yes, it was out of line.
Well, Gloria deserved everything.
We got to have like a stop. As soon as you get
dive
past.
into
the only time he puts his hands on Irina.
Well, it's
when she's about to throw a lamp.
No, remember she said something mean to him when he's all like, fucking like, he's trying to get her to wear like the business stuff, No,
he just wants her to sit down, and then she goes, "Go jerk off."
Yeah, but then she says something to him, I think, and he's like, "I'll knock you out, you communist cunt."
No. That's the first bed scene, because then she's like, because he says like, "What'd you say?" And she throws the candle, and then she's like starting to grab the lamp.
No, you're right.
Sorry,
you're right.
I just had it on.
You're right.
Like maybe 45 minutes ago, so it's pretty fresh.
I got it. Tyler's beating women. Gotcha.
Yes. That's what that means. I think Artie's a big thing to talk about in the pilot.
Yeah. No, yeah.
It's a huge dilemma that lasts all show long.
Well, the whole fire thing, I mean, it destroys their relationship. Because Artie is Tony's only genuine, true friend, I think. Because there's no mob stuff involved. He's not his boss. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's not family.
Right.
Like, he's just his childhood friend, and they have a genuine good friendship. Like, Artie genuinely cares about Tony, and Tony genuinely cares about Artie. But, the whole restaurant fire, it's what, it's why by season 6, they're not really friends anymore.
Yeah.
They're still friends, quote unquote, but they're nowhere near as close as they are in season 1, you know?
I feel like, obviously, it's a show, there's a plot. The fun fact about the restaurant fire is that the one commentary, I can't remember if it was the one commentary or if it was the Chase interview. There's there's not a whole lot in the realm of special features from like season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
On the box set, but the one thing he does say is, in the pilot when they're crossing the street and Junior says, "You may run North Jersey, but you don't run your Uncle Junior." The other old guy in glasses, I guess, is like Chase's what he would call like his Uncle Junior. And then he said that one of his cousins, or his cousin's uncle, which I put a question mark next to that because I was like, wait, what? Your cousin's uncle? Isn't that your dad or your other uncle? Anyway.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's ways that works. He had a restaurant. Wise guys would hang out there. Someone was going to get whacked, and the dudes blew up the place to help him out rather than have his business suffer, which is also a silly concept because there are notorious places where dudes got whacked, and it's actually
also just fucking retarded. I think
it's actually an attraction, like to certain people. They're like, "Oh my god, Crazy Joe Gallo, Joey Gallo got whacked here," and then they, I think it was I can't remember what the place is called, but
yeah.
The thing that happens in the Irish,
people like going
allegedly not a true story, and
people like going to mob places because they're mob places.
Mm-hmm.
It's just cool to people. Like it's not like, oh, we're gonna get whacked. Like nobody's. If you're not in the mob, you're not afraid of that. You know what I mean?
Maybe a stray.
Yeah, but it's honestly the fun of eating there. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of risk.
Oh, well, you don't like roller coasters?
Exactly. Yeah. Why do you go on a roller coaster? No, I literally wrote though in the last episode when Tony's like, am I that fucking stupid, Artie? It's like, yeah, you are that fucking stupid.
Yes.
Like yeah. I don't understand why he doesn't like. There's so many options. He could have had Christopher whack Pussy Malanga instead.
Yeah, whack him prior to
or
him even
just
coming to the
let
restaurant.
Let it fucking happen. I don't know.
Honestly, that
like, Artie, he'll be fine. That happens all the time.
Or like, hey, why don't you, I don't know,
tell Artie?
Like,
in a way,
you're a businessman. You got construction. You got Brown Sanitate. Like, have a bunch of shit parked in front of the building that, oh no, Artie, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, like, play dumb. Tell Artie they want to whack somebody in there.
Don't tell him like the people involved.
Like, hey, can you just close reason today?
Yeah.
And dude, you're a mob guy. Fucking pay him out for the day.
Or find some fucking mob dudes that Artie wouldn't know are connected to you. Have them threaten Artie, but, not like hurt him.
Right.
Be like, you better fucking close down. There's so many options. You know what I mean? I think the smartest one, just kill Pussy yourself. Pussy Malanga.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, but I'm going to burn down his restaurant so his business doesn't suffer.
Right.
Is the most retarded logic, like, ever.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Then you gotta rely on an insurance company to pay out quickly. It's like, dude.
It's the worst idea, but obviously, like, for plot's sake, I'm not complaining about it.
No,
but
I know.
It's just us step back and going like,
that's retarded. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only bloopers actually, well, at least the only one I can find on YouTube, is from the pilot. It's in that breakfast scene. It's Carmela's like, Birdman, hello, when she says that to him, and he's reading the book, and Gandolfini fucks up his line. He's like, oh fuck, and he like says, he's like, oh fuck, sorry everybody, god damn it, like, and Edie Falco makes this goofy ass face, but that's like the only blooper I can find.
Yeah,
it makes me. I'd like to see more. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see. Like because there's like so little things on Gandolfini, like interviews or anything. So it'd be cool to see him being like genuine, like him just being himself for a sec. It's probably because Chase probably has all that shit locked away and he's just waiting to release it when people aren't talking about Sopranos,
Sure. Which, it's 2025, so
yeah,
I don't know.
We'll see.
Probably
when he dies.
It's in his will. Release the bloopers.
Release the bloopers.
We could go over the continuity in the pilot, but
continuity.
Just a
it's
quick
not
thing.
continuity, but it's more of the goofiness of the pilot. a boss running someone down in public is just like,
yeah, silly.
it's like there's so many witnesses too, and it's in front of a fucking insurance place. It's like you're gonna get, you're done. Yeah.
At least today. At least for today.
I appreciate the scene.
Yeah.
Because it does get, you're like, oh shit, this is a fun show. You know, like I'm not saying they shouldn't have put it in. Yeah. But it's just like, no, that's not happening. But yeah, another Satrials is it's like Century Alleys or some shit. Yeah. And it's with a C.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's on the corner instead of the middle of the street. Mm-hmm. And then Syl just kind of
Chimtanis.
Yeah. And then Syl's, he's more like a Hesh. He feels more like a Hesh type guy. Yeah. Maybe a little more connected than Hesh though. Yeah, because he just seems like the club owner.
Hesh honestly seems more connected.
Yeah, in the
pilot than Silvio, yeah.
Livia's house having a different layout. It's just not, the kitchen's just in a different area. I think that's the main difference.
And it's really only the pilot. I mean,
yeah,
the kitchen's pretty much straight back.
Episode 2, I think.
Yeah.
It's episode 2 when she catches the mushrooms, right? On fire. Yeah, because at the end of that, he beats up Georgie.
She's still at the table, and the stove's behind her to the left. In episode 2. Mm-hmm. I think it's by episode 3 the kitchen's straight back though.
I mean, it's not that important, but yeah.
No, I know. I'm just interesting to think about. Is that your phone that keeps doing that?
Is it?
I don't know.
It is. It's mine.
I was questioning if that was still
it's because March Madness. I'm getting all the fucking updates. Father Phil being different. He's a different guy.
Yeah.
Fucking Tony being the boss. No mention of Jackie.
Right.
Looking.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to go through.
No, you're fine.
All of it.
Yeah. Those are the main ones.
I mean, my only thing.
Irina's different.
Yeah, Irina and then Silvio. Well, Silvio's wife, but that's not till later in the season. And Pussy's wife as well are different, but that's later in the season. So.
Yeah. I just have a lot written down for the pilot, so I had to look through.
Yeah,
everything. That's it, right?
Oh yeah, okay. I thought you had some.
No.
All right. So, I was thinking maybe we'd talk about the Junior versus Chris and Brendan.
Okay.
That whole dilemma.
Just talk about just everything about it, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's more or less like a Chris analysis too, right, for the season.
Well, yeah, I mean, you get that he's got the cowboyitis, like Tony likes to say, for sure. But then Chris, honestly, out of character, shows a little bit of smarts when they're about to rob the truck again, and he's like, Brendan, why be in a crew? Why be a part of a gang? All that shit. Mm-hmm. And, Brendan, he's the fucking meth head, so of course he's like, fuck you. And then he's walking down the stairs, and he's like,
Chris has this knack for doing the right decision, but not all the way right.
Yeah, he does it, he never follows through, I guess, with how he should do it.
Yeah, that was good, sitting it out.
Yeah.
But then, hey, Brendan also shouldn't be going and doing this that's bad for business.
Do something about it.
Stop your friend. Tell him, hey, man. But, I mean, again, not a criticism. You need a plot. But, Christopher in that situation, Tony was kind of saying, well, what'd you do to stop it? And it's like he goes half measure.
Yeah, yeah, literally. That's a perfect way to put it. Yeah, because it's dude, it could get you killed. Mm-hmm. It almost does.
Yeah.
Junior wanted to kill him. And Livia was there. Thank God. Christopher put up those storm windows. He put up my storm windows last year.
He's a good kid.
If he didn't do that, Livia would have been like, yeah, kill him.
He's like a son to me.
If he didn't do those storm windows, man, Christopher, he would have been gone episode 3.
Brendan
or episode
should
4.
have installed Livia's sound system.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, I would have liked maybe another episode with Brendan. Not that he's like an amazing character.
Right.
Would have liked to see that conflict get played out in maybe one more episode. Yeah, I mean, you just see the immaturity of Christopher. I think it's supposed to show how, he's got a lot to like learn about the mob still and like the mob life.
Yeah.
Then you also just see Junior's pride is that's his number one thing, because he's mostly just pissed off that it's not about the shit in the truck. Like, he doesn't care about that.
Yeah.
It's about, they went against Junior and they're just like, yeah, fucking who cares? It's Junior. So,
Well, Christopher is like young Junior, right? Because Christopher's got all this pride and he wants recognition for all that he's doing. When he's complaining in episode 10 about, Soprano crews, Omerta this, and
you got Junior with his moldy old sweaters.
Right? And like Junior's biggest problem in this season is pride, right? And greed.
Yeah.
Where Tony
which
has
is
to
everybody's.
basically talk him out of greed, but like Chris is like early Junior, he's got the same issue, and like he really never matures all season and just wants recognition for the things that he's doing. And then even in episode 8, it's like Tony just had a big long talk with you about like you got cowboyitis, you want to get caught, all this shit, and you should have learned something from that.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, they say your name's in the newspaper,
and he's so
and
happy.
Christopher runs down and buys all the newspapers.
Yeah.
No,
that's not like comparing him to a young Junior. Yeah, because I mean, sorry. The only difference is Christopher doesn't have an older brother that he's jealous of, so he's not as like.
Well, I don't know. You might say that it's Tony.
Yeah, he's jealous, but like it's different.
I guess with Junior, it was a younger brother.
Yeah, that's why. My bad. That's what I meant to say. It's like I think.
Although
that's
it's Brendan in this case.
Well, yeah, with the no
one would have ever ranked him as associate.
Yeah, I brought him around here. Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
The genuineness in Georgie's voice when he's like, "Really? I had no idea." Like, I just love it. He is the one. Like, he should not have been in the mob at all.
Well, I mean, he wasn't.
Well, yeah, he
was just
even
mob
been,
adjacent.
Yeah, he shouldn't have even been like close.
Uh-huh.
Like, people say Bobby's probably the nicest character. Bobby kills people. Still. Kills one person
in season 6.
But Bobby, he's still making collections, so he's beating the piss out of people still.
Yeah.
Georgie's just like, he's just a nice little bartender who's retarded.
Really? Yeah.
Tony's just picking on a retarded kid through most of the show.
Yeah.
Like,
he takes out his anger.
Yeah.
Melfi tries to get him to like deal with his anger in a healthy way, and then
might as well just go to 46 long. Yeah.
He rejects it.
Yeah, that's how.
And just beats up Georgie.
It's the first example of him not listening to Melfi's advice when it doesn't like suit his agenda.
When it doesn't directly benefit him. You know what I mean?
Like, because literally it goes
Tony's
from
another one where it's like it's half measures. You know.
When he uses all the advice just to become better at manipulating people.
Yeah, he picks and chooses.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we can
he'll
just
take the medication.
talk about 46 long. Pilot, obviously I gave that one an 8 out of 10 for rankings, but
okay.
46 long, I think this episode's just it's fine the first time you watch it. There's like, it's not boring, it's not bad, but when you rewatch it, it's very weak in terms of Sopranos episodes.
I think it's stronger than like 7 or 9.
I mean, I have that. Those are also weak in Sopranos episodes. In Sopranos terms, like none of these episodes are bad.
Yeah.
But Sopranos wise, these are like 2, 7, 9, and 10 are definitely like some of the weaker episodes of the show.
98% on Rotten Tomatoes, by the way.
Which one?
Season 1.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It would be in 100 if it wasn't for those episodes.
Yeah. Well, everybody's going to be cunty. Everybody's going to find a reason why something's not perfect.
And also Rotten Tomatoes can be fucking stupid sometimes. But, Yeah, I mean, I liked the 46. I liked just like the happy breakfast scene. Tony, he's coming down. Miller got his tail. Like he's just very happy. Carmela, like even when he's walking away, she's all just like like she's just happy. You know,
a stark difference
to like season 6,
1.
or even episode 1. Yeah. And then Tony saying, like, Tony is very nice to Carmela in this episode, which is just not him. Like, he offers to make lunch. He would fucking never do that.
Us a nice lunch.
When the fuck would Tony ever make lunch? Like, there's that scene later in like season 3 or 4, I don't remember, where he's like sitting at the kitchen. He's like, "You make coffee?" It's like, you're right there. Make it yourself, fat ass. Like, Jesus Christ. And Carmela kind of looks at him like, sure. Like, it's just, it's very different. Him saying when he calls Carmela when Livia's house is on fire, he's like, "I know you're busy." He would never be that fucking considerate later in the show, He'd be pissed off, be like, "Just get the fuck over there." Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's just, their relationship is still pretty good at this point.
Yeah, I think
butt fucks, but
I think in 1 they just wanted to show like the strain of his lifestyle on her, and then
because it gets progressively,
But they kind of divert from that for a little while into.
I think it's part of us. You gotta root for the guy, because if the show starts off with hell, even season 4 Tony, you're not gonna like him that much,
By the way, that was the thing I remember from the pilot. So they have the whole scam with the guy that owed the money that they chased down in public.
Yeah,
and
it's never brought up again.
But I was watching season 6, so I was watching season 1 over and over again, and I just kind of wanted like a something different, and so I just
palate cleanser.
Yeah, so I just went to chasing it in season 6 because I like that one, and he mentions when he goes to Hesh's house late at night, and he's got the bridge loan and whatever, and Hesh eventually asks for the money, but I know this is season 6, but he mentions the fucking MRI thing.
So it worked? It was like the scam worked, and it kept going?
He just kind of offhanded me. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I was like, so is that when it comes? And I'm like, first of all, what are the chances that that's the episode I pull up and he mentions the fucking MRI thing? No,
for real.
Because I had in my notes, like, so do we just abandon this MRI thing completely? Because it sounds like a legit scam.
Yeah, it sounds like a good scam, too.
And then, like he mentions it kind of offhandedly.
It makes you want to chase. Was he just like writing that episode like, oh yeah,
like, hey, remember that MRI thing? Just put that in there somewhere.
I don't know.
We don't have to go into it really.
Yeah.
But, anyway, that was funny.
No, yeah. The fuck did I write here? I have no idea. No, I got it. Chris is definitely wearing Adriana's robe when he's talking to Brendan, because in that episode he's got that checker, like that cheetah print.
Yeah.
And then episode 3, Adriana's wearing that robe. It's just funny to me. And then Mikey and Tony in this, you see their passive aggressiveness towards each other, and just like we needed another season of Mikey and Tony hating each other, dude. We needed
they don't have a
more.
telethon for fuckface-itis, huh?
Yeah. And Mikey's just like, yeah.
I saw an interview with him recently where he was like, it was just a smaller clip, like on Instagram or something, but he's just like, yeah, that wasn't like a line, like, he improvised, like Gandolfini improvised that, and he's like, and I was just kind of like, just nodding at him. Like, you all right? You all right? Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah, we just needed one more. At least another half season, at least. I don't know.
I think so. He was such a good, like a smooth mobster.
Yeah, and he's comedy.
Yeah, and he's comedy. Like he's like dumb, but he's witty at the same time, and he's
just socially retarded.
He's a great heel.
Yeah, he's pretty socially retarded.
Yeah.
Like when he's the fucking one dude, the old guy, old man Caprizi, I think. When his son got killed, he just like his head was bashing around on the rocks for days.
And Junior's like, yeah.
Jesus. No, honestly, the last thing I had to say that's interesting is the entire scene with when Tony brings the flowers to Olivia after talking to Melfi, and Melfi's kind of like, your mom might suck. He's like, no, that woman put food on my table every night. And he's all happy bringing the flowers, He's like, yeah, I'm going to do a nice thing for my mom. And then, 5 minutes later, he's like, she's happy, Ma, and he's just all stressed out. Like, she just kills Tony's mood. Like, literally, if it isn't for Olivia, Tony would probably be the best guy to be around all the time.
Right.
Like, just shows how awful she is.
Yeah.
And then just one thing, Tony doesn't respect Satrial's employees because he throws Brendan into the meat. It's like, somebody cut up all that meat. Like, now it's all on the floor. Like,
well, it was the bones, remember?
Was it the bones? I don't know.
Yeah, it was a table full of bones.
All right, that's fair then. Maybe he does respect him.
No, I mean, he doesn't. He doesn't respect anything. He doesn't.
That's fair.
He's Tony Soprano.
Fair.
Yeah. All right.
Like I think I wrote 6 out of 10, pretty middle of the road episode.
I think it was good for a second episode.
No, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Like a 6 out of 10 Sopranos wise is like an 8 out of 10 for most shows.
Yeah.
Or hell, even a 9.
Yeah.
Most shows fucking suck now. So.
Right. All right, so we kind of went through Chris.
Want to go through episode 3 or?
Let's go into it.
Episode 3. I mean, it's a fun one. It's definitely kind of another middle of the road. It's not. I think it's definitely better than episode 2. Like the Jews are very fun. Like that whole storyline's fun. With the hotel, it's the first time Silvio's really doing like mob shit. It feels like Silvio and Paulie together is just great. When they're beating the shit out of the Jewish dude. Like, if we don't kill this fucker, we should put him to work.
Yeah.
Like I love that.
I think the fun thing with that is the fact that, I mean, like you said, like you're seeing Silvio do mob stuff, and I don't think that there was very much of a plan for him.
Yeah, it was like, let's just get Steve Van Zandt here. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Chase was Steven Van Zandt in that Wise Guy documentary was talking about. He gets sent the script by Chase, and he's talking about like, oh, yeah, it's good. What kind of music are you thinking for it? Because he said that's what he received scripts for was music. And he's like, no, I want you to audition for the boss. I mean, he wanted him auditioning for the boss. He wanted him to be Tony.
Oh, God. Could you imagine that?
Right. And
he goes, a worse show as much as I love Silvio.
And he goes, I'm not an actor. And he goes, yes, you are. You just don't know. And he goes, okay. So he comes down and auditions, and he doesn't get the Tony part. But then he goes, I'll write a part for you.
So he was literally just like, yeah, fuck it, we'll just throw this guy.
I just want Steven Van Zandt on my show.
Honestly, because then he becomes like literally one of the best characters in the show.
Yeah.
Like when Silvio, and later in season 6, spoilers, when he gets shot and he's on the call, that made me so sad.
Yeah.
Like I hated that. I hated it so much.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I mean, the Jew thing's very interesting.
Well, it's cool because
it's
seeing
Maury.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's got one of the wigs on.
Yeah.
Obviously. It's really cool because, I mean, yes, they were jacking trucks, but this is the first. I guess it's really the second thing where, we have a mob take over, if you will. Like,
yeah,
it's
you
very,
see how
it's
they
very
work.
mobby.
Yeah.
They're doing dirty work for somebody, and then when Maury tries to rip him off, basically, which was silly. A lot of he's like, no, it was business that made him come around. It's like, no, he was receptive to your business offer because they were gonna cut his fucking balls off.
It's so Jewish.
Yeah, it was like, no.
That wasn't an anti-Semitic comment. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And it sets up like next season. They have the poker games there, and
yeah.
all that
The
kind
first
of
time I watched that, I didn't like realize that when I watched.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, but like when I rewatched the show, I was like, oh, that's what they did with that. Okay.
Yeah.
Mikey talking to Jackie with the fucking when he's got the Aaron the lines will kill you.
Yeah.
And he's just like freaking Jackie out, and Rosalie's trying to get him. And he even after he gets hit, he keeps talking about it. Like it's just more of Jackie's like social retardation.
Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey. And another thing, like, if you're trying to score meth in high school, I don't feel like you're that concerned about the SATs. I know it is supposed to help you study.
Sure.
But if you're doing shit like, let's get meth. It's like, I don't know. I wasn't in high school though. I know it was the 90s.
Sure.
I knew kids like that. They're like, let's try to get some Adderall or something. It's like, no, let's smoke crystal meth. It's like, no, nobody does that in high school. At least not where I went. And I hung out with all the fucking druggies and shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Nobody was like, oh, I got the SAT's coming up, man. Gotta get my meth.
Say, how do my teeth look?
Yeah, like, fuck. Like,
yeah.
Fuck, I got scabs everywhere. Like,
God damn.
And then also Brendan hitting on Hunter is just so fucking weird.
I think that's why you gotta kill him immediately.
Yeah. Might have been. Yeah. It's so, like, and also Carmela just being like, yeah, you delivered the message. You can go. Like, oh, you're just okay with the fact that Christopher's, like, telling Meadow, like, yeah, Brendan wants to bang your 16-year-old friend, you know? Like, Carmela should have a lot bigger of a problem with that.
I mean, she did say, Christopher, you keep that asshole away from that child.
But that's it?
Well,
I don't know.
It's not her kid.
Yeah.
Something tells me if it was Meadow, she has a much bigger problem with it. But,
like,
I mean, you can only do what you can do. I mean,
but, like,
everything's
if
not
you
your
had
problem.
a fucking daughter and I came over and, like, my buddy fucking wants to, like, she's 15. Maybe let's not use his name. If you had a daughter and one of my friends wants to fucking you're gonna be like, Luke, what the fuck?
What's going on?
Yeah. Like, are you doing this too? Are you looking like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, that always
it is interesting too. Like in older like shows or movies or whatever, like how it was just, or just even society in general.
It was normal.
How like the
it's weird.
older dudes with younger girls was just so fucking normal. It's very bizarre.
I mean, it all stems from like, because I mean, kings and monarchs, they were always fucking kids. Like that was literally, that's all. Like if you go through history,
right,
all of them were like, you know, if they were a king, it's like, well, I want a 14-year-old as my wife. And it's just like that was all of them.
Yeah.
I hope nobody takes that out of context. But
yeah,
like literally that it might be that, and also I mean people were just fucking weird, and they still are.
Yeah, definitely.
And also, people in Hollywood definitely still do that shit. It's just not in the movies anymore.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And the final scene of that show kind of, is like amazing. There's, them singing in the choir, Christopher almost getting shot. It's just a very beautifully shot scene, I think.
It's very, it speaks a lot
While
to...
Brendan's getting killed, too.
Yeah. Speaks a lot to, I think, what Chase is trying to say with a good bit of the show. That, because I think a lot of it, I mean, he talks about his own therapy. And, I mean, not, in detail, but I think there's no way with as much as he kind of ponders it with this show specifically that, he's not also kind of sitting there going like, well, hey, like what, what does any of this mean? And like, just the overarching question of life for any human being. Yeah. Right. Like, hey, what is this all for?
I mean, Sopranos will get you questioning that shit.
Right. Well, and Tony's sitting there in that last little bit of therapy in the episode talking about, like, so all this is for nothing?
Yeah, if it is, why do I got to think about it?
Yeah, and then it was like, I think the conclusion of it is that, he's walking in and it's like, oh, well, I guess. I think what he tries to say with the show is like, Yeah, who knows
Yeah, but like
about life, but
appreciate the little shit.
Isn't the good stuff
Good
worth
enough?
it? Like, I guess like that's all you're going for is trying to enjoy the
Yeah, I mean,
trying to make the happy shit.
The end of season 1, it's like you'll appreciate the little things like this. That's what Tony says.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the message, at least of season 1.
It's a hard thing to sit with, though.
Yeah. Then another thing, just this is a smaller part of the episode, but Charmaine and Carmela, like their friendship devolving because Charmaine realizes Carmela's a stuck-up little bitch.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
Like her
doing with it, right? Because
if I was working for my friends and they did this to me, I'd smack them.
I agree. Carmela mistreated her there.
Yeah.
I'll also say Charmaine, despite, having the moral center in the show,
she can still be kind of a bitch.
She's very much a bitch, and if you are friends with somebody, she just goes, "Oh, my feelings are hurt. Now I'm going to tell you something, that will hurt you from a long time ago."
It
and
is
then
shitty.
Stop being your friend. And if you are friends, you go, "Hey, I didn't like the way that made me feel."
Don't do that again, please.
And it might have just been a thing where Carmela's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't really think about that."
No,
I think they could have worked it out as friends, and instead she just chooses, no.
Yeah.
But, then it raises the moral question of like, well, is Carmela just as bad as Tony because she is married to Tony and is she complicit in everything?
And also,
I mean, obviously, yes, she is complicit in it, but like, I don't know. Just because someone, I don't know. I also don't care about the fucking. I mean, I follow the law, but like, if I had a mobster friend, I wouldn't try to be involved with them like in extracurriculars. But like,
yeah, I wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, who cares? Like, I don't care how you make your living. Jesus Christ,
don't get me involved.
If you have free cruise tickets for me, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she is very like, oh my god, shut up. Yeah. Sometimes, like, when Artie's like, my wife's a cunt. It's like, not wrong.
I'll disagree.
But yeah, like, but I think that's them trying to show just how Carmela's like got this higher class opinion of herself. Because even when she's like, I try to say nice things about that house. And it's like, it's just a normal fucking house.
Yeah, it's fun.
She's acting like they're living in the ghetto,
right.
Like a 1-bedroom or something. And it's just like that stuff can just, I mean, we're poor, so it annoys me, of course. Yeah. But, not that big a deal.
Yeah. I just think if you're friends with somebody, you can work that out. That's not
100%
a huge deal.
They both handled it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could go through.
Might as well at this
episode
point.
By episode, but like.
But I mean, Meadowlands, I don't have a lot to say. Only episode I think we should focus on, like, really is college. Just because my opinion with college is it's probably like the only episode in the show that can, besides the pilot, of course, that can be its own movie. Yeah. Like I've always said, I've said that to you so many times. Because it's just like a little short story.
Yeah.
Mobster and his daughter go to colleges, and while the wife's at home sick and the priest comes over, and while the mobster's out at the colleges, he sees a guy from his past, and he has to navigate trying to kill him while also being with his daughter. Like that sounds like an interesting little short story.
It is. And I mean, it's one of the better episodes of the season,
and just TV in general, because maybe not better in TV, but what it did for TV. Because you don't get Boardwalk Empire and Breaking Bad, Sons of Anarchy, all that shit without that episode, because HBO was like, you can't have him brutally murder somebody like that.
It's like, well, he is a mobster, so what are we talking about?
They were just like, he's a main character, nobody's gonna root for this dude anymore. That's what they were scared of.
Yeah. But it works.
And it works
because
the show gets better after this episode.
Well, and it works because Tony's staying true to like who he is.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, this guy's a rat. Like, this guy needs taken care of.
Mm-hmm. And then I love the ducks flying.
And of course he doesn't have the gun with him because he's on a trip with his daughter. So that's why he has to brutally murder him, you know?
No, it's great. And then the ducks
It
fly
all
away
works.
right after.
Yeah.
And that's part of like you start to like Tony. Like that's what gets you to like him in the beginning. It's like, oh, he's a mobster, but he likes ducks.
Yeah.
This is cool. Like he's sweet. And then he kills the dude and you see the ducks flying away and it's kind of
it's the whole symbolic thing of like, you're losing your family. And he sort of kind of does because then him and Meadow's relationship's different after that day because he's not being truthful with her.
Because they have one of their few times of like genuine honesty. Well, not even because Tony still lies when he's being honest because some of my money comes from illegal gambling, but you can tell Meadow's like really appreciative of it, and even makes her be like honest with him. And of course, Tony handles it the worst. He's like, I should smack the shit out of you, and it's just like, hey, she's being honest, Like obviously, you shouldn't be happy about it.
I mean, that's Tony, short fuse, right?
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't be happy about it.
Now.
Fair. But then, like, it is funny after he does hear that, though. Oh, you did meth? All right, I'm going to leave you with these college kids. Like, it's like...
Hey, stick to cokes.
And then, of course, she gets... And it's like, they're college kids. Yeah. Date rape, that's very common in college. Roofies. Or not even just... They just might get her too drunk and take advantage of her,
right.
And it's just like, maybe she goes off and she's doing actual coke. You don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
I stuck to coke, Dad.
That's what I mean. It's just, it shows how shitty of a father he is. How shitty of a father he can be. Because in season 1, he's not a shitty dad in general.
Sure. But
it shows the reasons that AJ and Meadow have the issues they have.
Yeah. And the other thing, like I feel like he could have handled the questions differently, right? Like you can be honest about the fact that you make sort of an illegal living without just giving it away. Like, I mean, the whole thing with the Omerta thing, is you're never supposed to talk about it.
Yeah.
And like you can still be like, look, I do some illegal stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's ways of like roundabout.
Yeah, saying illegal gambling.
Talking
is like,
about it.
Right.
There's ways of roundabout talking about it with your daughter where it's like, look, it's on the hush hush, but like, I don't make a conventional living.
Yeah.
And, some things are different, but I can't really talk about it because then I'm making, you kind of an accomplice. So, it's a shady living.
Yeah, he totally could have handled it better.
And like when she, when she's like, you're bleeding, the mud on your shoe. Like, you could have been like, yeah.
I do illegal things.
Business. That's all I can really say without making you an accomplice, honey.
Yeah.
Like there's ways to handle it.
Or he could have just like cleaned up.
Well, there's that, but it's kind of in a hurry. And
yeah,
just
I know.
Leaving her on the stoop of the college, right? So you gotta,
But. Yeah, no. But he's okay with leaving her with college kids at a bar, so.
Well.
No, I know. I'm nitpicking at this point.
Yeah. The other thing in that is, it's a small thing, but honestly kind of big. The conversation with Christopher about Fabian Petrulio.
What, them saying too much on the phone? That's one thing.
Well, it's an outside line.
Yeah, but even then.
Can't be traced.
No, fair. Okay.
I mean, that's the whole point of it, right? Because
that's the point of the payphones.
Start talking on the cell phone, then anyway.
No, you're right.
Unless they're although, like, you got to think the nearest, the payphones nearest, the Bing, Satrials.
They're definitely bugged. Yeah.
Like they have to be tracking.
And then also every other time they do talk on the payphones, they're still like, it's done. Like that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't say like a lot.
Well, I mean, a lot of it's like when, somebody calls Tony at home, You know,
No, that's
Juan
fair.
Valdez has been separated from his donkey.
Yeah.
Fucking Paulie.
And
But the thing with Fabian is, you know, Tony's talking to Christopher, and Tony just rattles off all this info about, yeah, he was in the witness protection program, then he got kicked out. Now he goes around to universities, talks about what a big shot mobster he was. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. If all of this is public knowledge, why wasn't this guy dealt with a long time ago? It's not
That's a
like
good
it was
point.
going to be hard to nail down his location, that kind of thing. I
That's
feel
a
like
good
the
point.
story's just a little more. Again, we are nitpicking at this point, but I think the story's just a little more believable if it's guy disappeared.
no, that's a good point.
You know?
I didn't even think about that.
No.
No, literally, because yeah, if they knew he was doing that shit, it'd be so easy to find.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like he has government dudes around him protecting him. Obviously, one thing that is interesting, you do see like with the Fabian dude or Febby, like some mobsters are just pieces of shit, even if they do get out of the life, because you know he's still running drugs, you know, fucking selling drugs to people. He was in the volunteer fireman, and he's still a fucking rat too. Like, because you know they're like, we were volunteer firemen together, asshole. I know who burned down that. Like, he's still like, I'll tell on you, you know. So like, it usually Sopranos does the opposite when they kill someone. They make you feel bad for him, like with Ralph. You know what I mean? His kid gets shot right before he gets killed, so it's you know. But this dude, they're like, no, he sucks ass. You know what I mean? Like you're happy when Tony is like, he's a piece of shit.
And that probably goes back to, hey, please don't
Make us
have
hate
our
this guy.
main character do this.
Yeah.
You know. And I mean, he's a liar till the end too, where he's like, it was a coincidence. He's taking his little girl to college.
Yeah.
When literally 5 minutes ago he was trying to get that drug addict to pull up alongside the car with his daughter in it and
Blow
pump a 12 gauge into it.
Which is just an incredibly brutal way to kill someone.
Yeah.
A 12 gauge to the face in front of his daughter. Like,
Right.
Good God.
Probably gonna
Hit
hurt
her
his
too,
daughter
or
too.
kill her.
Possibly kill
Yeah.
her. Yeah.
And if not killed, she's going to be unbelievably scarred for life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, physically and emotionally, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, this isn't anything. I did just forget about that auto shop scene when he goes at night to the auto shop. I just completely forgot that happened. I don't think maybe every time I've watched that episode before, I like had to take a piss or I was grabbing a snack, 'cause I don't think I had ever seen it before. Like, literally. I was like, am I watching the same shit? Like, because I've seen that episode a lot.
Yeah.
That's not, I didn't have anything to say even really about it, but yeah.
Yeah. Pax Soprano, not exciting per se, but
Just
the
the
end
ending
is
is-
amazing.
Probably the best scene in the whole damn series.
Series
Oh, okay.
or
Sorry.
season?
One of the best scenes in the series. Just like, okay, maybe like
Sure, I can call it a
iconic
top
wise.
A top scene in the series, but
Yeah, calling it the, my bad. Not the. But yeah, just iconic. I remember when I first watched the show, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch all this now. Like, after I saw that. There was just something about the music with the pictures being taken that's just so cool.
and that's, I mean, your first. You know, they introduce you to everything. He's dealing with mob problems. He's dealing with kid problems.
Yeah.
Everything, and so then, and you almost even forget that, like, hey, the police are actually going to be
See
after
Agent
this
Harris
guy
the
as
first
well.
time. Yeah.
You know, I mean, and that's, it's very, like, just another fucking thing. That
I
he's
love
gotta
Agent
deal with.
Harris, by the way. He's awesome.
He is good, and I like his, like, he almost flips at the end of the show too. It's very funny, you know. Like, hot damn, we might win this thing. Yeah,
And the dude looks at him like, what?
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot to say about it. Mostly just, Junior's a shitty boss.
Yeah.
If, Tony wasn't...
Pride and greed.
If Tony wasn't wasn't the real boss, technically, Junior would have ended up getting whacked if he was, like, the number one for, like, real number one.
Yeah.
With all the shit, he was going to piss too many people off.
Yeah.
Like, Junior is very short-sighted.
On the meeting about Junior alone in that episode where like Jimmy and Raymond and who else? Jimmy, Raymond, and Larry come in.
Yeah.
You know, like all just irritated immediately. I mean, yeah, it would have been over very quickly.
Yeah, if all your captains hate you.
Mikey Jr., Chucky, all gone.
Yeah, they'd all be killed. And then another thing, when they trick, Junior is probably one of the easiest characters to manipulate in that show.
Yeah.
You really see it when Johnny Sack first comes, first Johnny Sack scene, and only Johnny Sack scene.
Last one of the season.
Yeah. Also, New York doesn't seem like involved, really. Like, they're there, obviously, but they're not really like a part of it at all, which is interesting. Like, I wonder if their plan for the show was to have New York become a big thing or not, you know? Because it doesn't seem like they really had a plan for that at all in season 1, to me.
Yeah.
But it could, it might have just been them planting the seed for the bigger conflicts.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to even see if you go further than a season, right?
Exactly.
I did,
it is with sorry, last thing with that Junior scene, it's like literally like there's never bad acting in The Sopranos, and they purposely do bad acting.
Yeah.
But like it's so like,
and they fool Junior.
Yeah, like it's genuine bad acting.
Please, Junior, if there flies on you, they're paying rent.
Yeah, exactly. And you think I'd come down here tell your uncle how to run his family?
I wouldn't expect to see the Statue of Liberty again if I did that.
Yeah, and Junior's like,
yeah, no, I mean, that was my nose. Like, Johnny Sack throws heat immediately. Like, first time you see him, he's cool as a cucumber. He's Johnny Sack. He comes in and he handles that whole thing.
Fucking
with
love
him.
Johnny Sack.
He's the best.
Yeah, they definitely tried to
New
make
York
him
guy.
like John Gotti a little bit, right?
Little.
Okay, I don't know much about Gotti, honestly.
No, well, Gotti was much more Johnny. That's a whole other podcast, honestly. But like Johnny is very low key.
Low key, okay. Because I know
Gotti was very like I'm fucking John Gotti.
That's why he was so popular.
Like, dude, honestly, like, and John Gotti's ego got him arrested, basically, because he, they called him the Teflon Don.
And Sammy the Bull, but yeah.
Yeah, that too. But the fact that, because they got Sammy to testify, but it didn't really take much.
Well, didn't he only do that because Gotti was gonna rat on him?
No, Gotti was never gonna rat.
Okay, I don't know that much.
Come on, it's John fucking Gotti.
All right, my bad. Sorry. Do you know him? No. Am I gonna get my ass kicked when I walk out of here?
John Gotti's dead. He had throat cancer, like. Years. I can't remember how long after he got in jail. But anyway, he got mad at his son because he wanted to flip because they were offering him a deal.
Oh, gotcha.
Anyway.
Sorry. I know I brought up Gotti.
I'm a mob guy. Come on. I don't know everything, but like I know some things. The whole Gotti thing, he basically sold himself down the river by accident because there was an apartment of some old lady above the Ravenite Club that was like a mob hangout. And I think they knew that place was bugged to some extent, but he would go upstairs and talk to people, and then, the FBI eventually caught on like, oh, he goes up here, has meetings, and he's up there, and it's just like one of those where you go like, shut the fuck up, what are you saying all this for? And he's like, yeah, and he's like, you tell him I'll kill him. Myself, me, John Gotti, and you're like, yo!
Saying his middle name too, spelling it out. J-O-H-N.
The date is March 19th.
I'm going to use this gun, 9mm.
My Colt 45 I bought from Larry Zonka down the road. Like, yeah.
That's hilarious. I don't know a lot about Gotti.
There is a terrible John Travolta movie about it, and you won't get much information. They try to be Goodfellas. This is Sopranos. Anyway, let's go.
No, you're fine. I did have one thing about Gotti, and I wrote it in the Boca episode when Tony's golfing. That's a hit as a hit, I think. Would Tony have ever met Gotti?
It's possible.
You think it is possible? Okay,
I mean,
I wanted to
Gotti was
ask
arrested
you.
in like 99.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was 91 when I looked it up.
Well, I mean, he was arrested many times. When did Gotti go away? I mean, if Tony's okay, 92 sentence to life in prison. I
just wonder, like, did Tony?
In 2002, he died. But yeah, I mean, it's very possible. I mean, Tony, timeline wise, he's a mobster in 99.
He was probably a captain by like 92.
I mean, it's very possible New York and Jersey. He crossed paths with him.
It was just a little thing I wrote.
Yeah, it's very possible. I mean, you got to figure Tony's what, 40?
Yeah, he's like 40 or maybe late 30s.
So I mean, he's only been a mobster all his life, right?
Yeah,
all his adult life. So 10 years ago, yeah, he saw Gotti.
Last thing about Pax Soprano.
Jesus, really?
No. I know.
Shut up about it already.
Just the murdering someone in broad daylight and then giving a dude what couldn't have been more than $300 when I looked at it is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, because when you look, like, I remember the first time I watched it, it's probably like a fat fucking money clip or something. I really looked at it. It honestly looks like $200.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe $3 if they're like stuck together.
And you never know. Like that might just be $100 on the outside and a 20 on the inside.
Or one.
Or $100. $100. Yeah, right. Fucking Mikey Evil over here.
$1 million. Yeah, and then Down Neck. I don't have a lot to say about it.
Yeah, Down Neck, I mean, we talked about
flashbacks.
Chrissy for Tennessee Multisanti. Yeah, I mean, Down Neck, the flashbacks are more or less what
Flashbacks should have been Many
Saints.
Saints
is based on, more or less.
We've
talked about Boca.
This isn't really a big thing, but like I did just see a clip that like perfectly described like the problem is Many Saints isn't a bad movie.
No.
But
it's
you
why
compare
I started
it to Sopranos.
Yeah.
Sopranos is a fucking masterpiece.
Uh-huh.
And Many Saints is just not.
I mean, yeah. So like what? The last season's 21 episodes, right? And then every other is 13. It's 13 times 5. 65 episodes. And then you add another 21. So it's basically 86 movies.
Yeah.
That are all very good.
It's probably about 88 hours in total of TV.
Yeah, I mean some are longer, so I mean call it like 90 hours of just good stuff.
I guess even these episodes that I say are bad, they're not bad.
Yeah,
they're
bad in Sopranos terms.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're all still better than
the Many Saints. Literally.
Yeah,
like Down Neck is just exactly what I wanted Many Saints to be.
Yeah. Yeah, you can expand on it more. Yeah, I mean, it kind of, yeah. I think he wanted to...
he wanted to make a New York Riots movie.
Yeah.
And it's like...
and that's the thing you have to remember, too. Excuse me, is that, he grew up in Jersey, and so, like, it's all very about Jersey to him. Like, when when he signs to the show, like, a lot of the networks he went around to, that he talks about is, like, well, yeah, I mean, we can shoot a lot of this in L.A., right? And he said it was very important to him that,
it was shot.
All the Jersey stuff gets shot in Jersey.
I like that. I like authentic.
And he said if it's an exterior, like it's a non-negotiable. Like if it's an exterior, it needs to be in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was pretty cool.
No, that is cool. I like that.
And he grew up in Jersey. I mean, that's what he talks about a little bit too. Is like I know there's a mob presence in Jersey. Like I grew up there. Like I know what this all is about.
Oh yeah, Tony's loosely based off this one mobster who ran the Jersey crew. I can't remember his name, but
yeah. I mean, there's I have a bunch of special feature stuff, but like at a certain point, you just feel like you're like reading off a fax sheet.
No, yeah.
It's just I try to have it handy for when like something like that comes up, but. And I remember the one thing was that Fox was like, "Are you married to him taking Prozac?" And he was like, "I guess you could say I am." Then they were like, "All right, well, it's not going to work." you know. And then like the first thing HBO said, like how he knew it was like, okay, this is great because like one of the first things HBO said is like, so we're gonna shoot this in Jersey, right? And he's so.
I'm so glad it was on HBO. I mean,
yeah. Can you imagine
if it was on a fucking network television? Would have been.
I mean,
it would have been. Yeah. It wouldn't have been bad, but it would be nowhere near as good.
It is why I say it is my only argument for why Breaking Bad might be the best show ever made. Only because, like, they have to run with weights on.
Yeah.
Right? You're not allowed to swear. You get, like, one fuck per season, you know? And, you know, you put together... You made the drug world convincing without swearing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how those people talk half the time, you know? And
yeah,
so
they don't say shit all the time.
It's very impressive.
And bitch.
Yeah. I think it's running with weights on the limited things you can do. I like Sopranos way, way more. I would just say that's the only argument.
No,
like,
that's fair. It's a good argument. But yeah, not much to say about Down Deck, honestly. There's an obvious audio dub in Melfi's office.
There's quite a few in season 1, obvious audio
there's
dubs.
one with Charmaine and the Boca episode.
Charmaine, there's the there's Olivia one.
Oh yeah.
Getting in the car.
What constitutes a fidget, Tyler? Let's dive into that.
No, I won't. I refuse. So I said Johnny Sack throwing heat. I got
and then AJ getting suspended, butterfly effect.
Yes, that is why down neck is still important.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I get it's
because if he
5
doesn't
out of
get
10
in trouble,
for me.
If he doesn't get in trouble, that's so it is very it's foundational, but
I have it
doesn't
at 5,
mean I want to watch the episode.
No, I have it 6.5 out of 10.
And we do need to do an episode where we figure out how we grade.
No, yeah, we will.
The Sopranos episodes.
And then we don't need to spend a lot of time on 8 because we talked about Chrissy.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, we've talked about how we don't like Boca. It's, it's integral to, you know,
the
why
pussy
there's the conflict.
the biggest thing.
Yeah, but like the coach,
you can get rid of that whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need it. It's
the best part.
It's a decent. It's a well-told story, but honestly, it's
5 out of 10.
I don't know how you get him arrested that night. I don't know if that has something to do with the Macasian connection, but
yeah,
because you know things like that take
time
and evidence and investigations, and so I don't know how you get him arrested.
I mean, shoot, when they do To Catch a Predator, they arrest him that day.
I think some legwork's been done.
Fair.
Also, you have proof of a guy luring a child and all that kind of thing. Hit is a hit.
But yeah, 5 out of 10 for Boca. Fuck this. I'm going to Boca.
There you go. I like 10 just in the way that he fucks with Cusimano in the end.
Yeah, I do wish with 10 it had potential. Like I put 6.5 out of 10 missed potential. If it led to like a storyline in season 2 where those like gangsters are still trying to sue Hesh or you know, maybe like Tony's got a there's a little mini war or something, would have made the episode probably
rapper massive genius shot today on his way to court. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I don't know, you just got to listen to like shitty music for a lot of the episode.
Yeah.
Meow.
Erase myself. Yeah.
I feel so bad for the fucking track dude. I'm like, all right, take 84. That poor guy.
Should have wrapped this 3 days ago when it was perfect. Wish I'd have thought.
Yeah, because it pisses me off. Like the opening with it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, oh, you see he's pulling the guns out, he points the gun at Christopher. It's like, oh, this is gonna be like a little conflict or something.
Yeah. And
it's never ever brought up again. I mean, if it wasn't for that, it'd be like an 8 out of 10 episode, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's not a bad watch or anything.
Yeah.
Just doesn't really apply to the rest of the season. And then we get the last 3 episodes, which is just all peak. So
just on a heater. Which I think would bring up the question: Is Tony a better or worse person by the end of season 1?
Definitely worse. It's
Yeah?
the Olivia stuff is what makes him worse more than anything. So I think he's starting to hate himself a little bit because his own mother wanted to kill him. And it's part of him becoming less and less like empathetic and more just selfish. You know, because you see it in season 2. Like he's less cheerful. He's still like pretty happy, but something's changed. You know, in season 2. Yeah, I would say he's probably worse.
I would go better at least in episode 13. I think
Maybe in that dinner scene. Yeah.
Yeah, if nothing else. I mean, granted, it's a little bit like, sorry to reference season 6 again, but it's a little bit like getting out of the hospital. Janice, every day's a gift.
Well, and then
immediately you take everything for granted again, and you're pissed off.
And then the last episode of the series, he's like, remember the little things. That's what AJ says. And
Don't
Tony's
be a
like, quit being
smartass.
sarcastic,
Yeah.
you know? And he's like, you said that. Like,
I did? Oh, it's true, I guess.
yeah, it just shows his fall. But let's go into episode 11. Episode 11's awesome. Nobody knows anything, the Makazian stuff. Like,
Yeah.
because, I mean, this episode's just on, it's not focused on Makazian, but you get a lot of him. You get a lot of backstory. Like, I don't know, he's definitely one that should have at least been around for season 2 when we were trying to figure out if Pussy really was a rat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Him and Tony's like talks throughout the whole season when they're meeting up. You know, like Tony throws the rock at him when he's pissing outside Olivia's. Like, they just had a good back. It's like him and Mikey. They just have a good back and forth. You know, would have liked more of that. Yeah, and I don't know. And Tony, honestly, there's not a lot of deaths he's responsible for that he ever really seems remorseful. Like, it's probably only like Pussy, Makazian, and that's about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because like when he figures out Makazian like thought Tony was kind of like nice, or nice for a mobster. You see it in like Tony's face. He's like, "Oh, that was kind of an
At
asshole."
least with Tony Soprano, you know where you stand.
Yeah, and you like Tony's like, "Oh," like you just see it. He's like, "Fuck, I was a dick."
Yeah.
You know. And then also Tony's depressed, so he definitely sympathizes with the Makazian hate in his life.
Yeah.
You know. And then, with Pussy, Makazian definitely didn't get that mixed up, right?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I mean,
granted,
the fact he
it's
talked
one of
about the
those-
heroin is
It's
like,
one of those gray areas, right?
yeah.
But, like, literally, to jump ahead into season 3 when they're talking about it, because they pulled the Santa outfit and, they go into that whole flashback. And I'm like, oh, fuck. He was wearing the wire
Yeah.
at Christmas, because he walks in and it's so strange, too, because I don't think it was their plan immediately. Like, maybe when they wrote this episode, like, they were thinking, hey,
He just became a rat or something.
or, hey, they get it mixed up.
But he brings up the heroin stuff, and they run with that.
True.
And also,
Yeah,
what's
maybe it
weird
was
to
the
me
plan
is if
all along.
Pussy is a rat.
It was I think it was a red herring to make you think. I think Jimmy was a red herring to make you think Pussy.
Was innocent.
Yeah.
Well, and also, why does he run if he is a rat at this point in that card game? Because he's looking at the door like he knows what's going to happen. So it's like, okay, did he set up the sting?
Sure.
But then why does he run away?
Well, the heat's too. Polly's trying to. Why don't you want to take
No,
your
that's
clothes
what I'm talking
off?
about. I'm talking about when they're at that card game at the. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I think it definitely is a plan. I think he knows.
But why does he run?
I think it's an easier way. Like,
He doesn't got to stand there and be like, "Oh shucks."
right. I mean, he's more or less kind of undercover.
Fair, and he just wanted to get out of there.
Right. And so, yeah, I mean, dude's obviously waiting for him on the corner.
He was probably
I think
afraid
it
of
was
like
a little planned out, so he didn't want it to look too suspicious.
He probably didn't want a cop to be like, Thanks, pussy. Like some dumbass cop, like just blows cover.
Yeah, just get me out of here. Yeah.
No, that's a good point. Yeah. But yeah, also one thing in this episode that when they do that weird CGI Livia in season 3, the scene with Junior, they get most of that from that scene.
I critiqued that too hard, and it might have been the TV I was watching it on because I got a better TV from the first time I watched it.
It doesn't look good though.
Yeah, it just doesn't look as bad as I remembered, and I think it might have been the older TV I was watching.
Imagine watching it when it came out.
Sure.
It probably looks so bad.
But then, you were sitting there like probably going, wow, they did that?
Yeah, it's 2000 whatever. Yeah.
Like Hancock was awesome, and then you watch it today, and you're like, oh, those are fans.
Yeah, it's like watching the Tobey Maguire.
That's a green screen. Right.
Like the first, well, at least the first one, especially when you watch the swinging, it's like that's terrible CGI.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. The line "There goes a chance to find out the truth about pussy," I think it can just get memed. Like it's like some guys like thinking one of them's gonna fuck a girl, like some high schoolers. He fumbles the bag. There goes our chance to find out the truth about pussy.
Yeah. Or the other line,
nobody knows.
I can't find pussy anywhere.
Yeah. Nobody knows anything.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many fucking lines with the pussy. That's just like that could be a meme. That could be a meme. And also in this episode, Paulie seems
again. Why don't you want to take your clothes off? That's memeable.
And then just one more thing, just Jimmy's the worst rat, of course.
Yeah.
Fuck. Where'd it go? I had it. Oh, Paulie seems like Tony's number 2 at this point.
Yeah.
Like, because he gives, like, if Pussy was a rat in season 5, let's say, which I know, it would fuck the show up, but who cares? Like, he would have given that job to Silvio or Christopher. No way in hell is going to Paulie.
Yeah.
But like he only calls Paulie in, doesn't even talk about it with Silvio really. And he's like, you do this, Mm-hmm. And then even when Silvio is like, hey, if my opinion counts for anything when he's talking to Tony, it's like Silvio's 1000% just a guy, like a made guy.
Yeah.
At this point. Like he's not even a captain, I'm pretty sure. Which is just interesting. Because, Paulie is definitely never the number 2 again.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and like, is Silvio ever really a captain? You know what I mean? Like, does he just go from like made guy who owns a strip club to consigliere that still owns a strip club?
Yeah.
Because I mean, how would you have any time to go be a captain?
Yeah, if you're owning a strip club.
Yeah. Like running a legit business. And like, because I don't remember like Silvio ever talking like, my guys, they.
Yeah, the only time they have to go collect money for Silvio is the Russian.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that seems like a business
thing. Yeah, that got set up with like Tony.
Right.
Yeah, so it's your mob guys. Consigliere, is that
consigliere? Is
that higher than captain then?
I don't know per se, because so the only times I've ever heard consigliere mentioned is in the fictional sense.
Okay.
Right, Godfather. I've never heard like a legit mob story where someone's talking about someone as their consigliere.
Okay.
Now, if you're talking about someone's number 2,
they're always
like
captains,
I think Gravano was like Gotti's number 2, right? That sort of thing. So I don't know if people really had. I don't know if consigliere is like a thing. And the big thing with Sopranos is you notice. I mean, I think there's like 2 or 3 direct references in like the first 5 episodes to Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
Like they talk about the Mo Green thing.
Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, the pilot for sure, yeah.
Luca Brasi. Luca.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I think there's like, maybe four Godfather references in like the first four episodes.
Yeah.
And it's but like that's the main thing where I've heard conciliary, because it was like Tom Hagen was supposed to be like family conciliary. Now I'm breaking down Godfather, of course, but like.
No, I was just curious
Anyway,
if that was like.
I've only ever heard it referred to in fictional sense, and then Sopranos is very like, this is the first generation of dudes that are mobsters that saw The Godfather.
Yeah.
You know, or that like grew up on The Godfather.
So it might have just been something Tony's like, you're my conciliary now, because I like The Godfather. So
yeah. Now, it might totally be a real thing. I don't know.
Okay.
But I've only ever heard it referred to in the fictional sense, and maybe I need to dive more into the legit mob stuff and find that out.
Yeah, I was just curious. And then episode 12, I mean, I don't have a lot to say. It's just good.
But yeah, it's just pleasing. It's very good dream sequence stuff, and it's a very big mind fuck.
You figure out Isabella's not real.
Yeah, trying to figure out where you jump in and out of what's real, what's not.
The thought of Tony, when he's all depressed, just standing in the Cusimano's yard talking to himself is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Him just like someone's telling, what the fuck?
I almost feel like he dreamt it.
He probably did.
Like, I feel like... Now I'm like thinking about like where it would have broken.
Well, he
like
definitely dreamt it, because remember they go out to lunch and then it cuts to like that weird, like medieval times shit where they're like,
yeah,
she's
he
born
like
as a baby.
hallucinates all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
it has to be a dream.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, he just goes to lunch and he like talking across the table to no one.
This is the waiter's like, do you want anything else? And he's like talking.
Yeah. God, you're so rude. Like you were saying. And you can tell that was a dream because like it's very like he's just in like a little like I don't know what you would call it. I don't know if it's probably not downtown New Jersey or like wherever the hell he is.
Yeah.
You know, and then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, you don't want to eat that. Let's go here. Come on. And then all of a sudden they're in this like magnificent place.
Yeah. No, it's it's
1,000%. Like they appear there. You know what I mean? Which like granted the magic of, you know, film and television, right?
Yeah.
You cut, but like where's that place? This like outdoor like villa
you never see it again.
Restaurant, and they've never gone there again. Like, oh, all of a sudden we're at the end of fucking Dark Knight Rises. You know, wherever the hell they eat and that.
You guys go to fucking Rome.
Yeah. Like, and it's like obviously has to do with the Italian, you know, fantasy of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely dreams. Yeah, Gandolfini just nails the depressed face too. Just makes him look like he's like brain dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, great parts. I mean, you know, Christopher has genuine care for Tony still. You know, like what are you gonna do down there? I'm gonna get my fucking pants out of the dryer. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Like, and you know him following him around and shit, and he saves Tony, on accident.
Right.
And you know, and at the end when they're all happy, Tony's alive. It's nice that they're also like they still genuinely love Tony still.
Yeah.
It's not just he's the boss. I gotta pretend to be happy.
Yeah. Well, because they fuck with his head in what, season 2, or is it season 3 where Carmella's like, you know, it's like, oh please, they all laugh at your jokes.
That's season 5, I
to.
think.
Oh wow. Oh, that's right.
Because that's when
Feech.
Feech.
Yeah, Feech.
Yeah,
Feech. Dude, season 5 so awesome.
Feech was supposed to be. That's a season 5 thing.
Season 5 so awesome.
No, I can't wait till we talk about
5
5 in the second half of 6. I can't wait to talk about.
5 is my absolute favorite.
No, you're right. I watched it again. 5's the best. And then, you know, Junior, Mince. That's great.
Great quote. Probably like one of my other. I mean, what's better than that? Maybe. What? No fucking ZD now.
Yeah, and then you get it followed up with right after, "Hey Donnie, sorry."
Great.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Like, God, Mikey should have been in
Mikey's
another
so smooth.
season, man.
Smooth Mikey.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that, like, Jen, like, when I watch it, I'm just like, God damn it, Chase. Like, should have been in one more season.
But I think that's the secret to a good character, though.
You don't want too much of them.
You gotta leave him wanting more.
Yeah.
You know?
That's fair.
Or just with any show, really, right?
Fair. And then also just, worst hitman ever. The two worst hitmen on the planet.
Stupid. Like, how?
And then also
how do you miss?
Just because Christopher parked the car there, he didn't. Christopher gets out, goes in the donut shop, comes out, probably leaves. They couldn't wait a little longer.
Well, I mean, you've never walked around a car before?
The fucking most retarded hitman ever. It's like, yeah, that is your getaway car, I guess. But, like, you could run.
And I don't know how you miss from point blank range.
And then you shoot your friend and then go, fuck, I'm going to put my gun in the car. It's just, like, I mean, obviously they do that so Tony can survive.
Oh, no. Oh. Like, I mean, like, Jesus Christ, how hard is it to go like that?
And also, why aren't you just, like, there's fire.
Just unload in this car.
Yeah, the worst hitmen in history, in like TV history, probably. But yeah,
but
not a lot to say about 12.
Plot armor.
Yeah,
and 13's great.
I mean, honestly, I don't have a lot. I have stuff written down, but like, I think Christopher definitely walked out of that conversation they had when Tony's talking about therapy.
Yeah.
Chris definitely went and saw a therapist like immediately. He was like, I can do that? I'll be back.
I think that's when he like went and talked to Adriana.
I've been that too.
Because that's where you find him at the end of the episode. Because I think he was like, because his question is, so what, like marriage counseling? Yeah, it's like that. And then like says nothing and just leaves.
Yeah. And then Jimmy's death is like the only time, like one of the only few times they use that weird slow motion. Yeah. They don't really use that a lot of the times in the show, I don't think.
Yeah.
Just like, Silvio comes out all slow.
Yeah.
It looks weird when you watch it.
I like it though.
It's not bad. It just,
they
don't ever really do it again.
Right.
It's like in season 5 when they have that weird cut with Carmela walking away. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, it's just very like, okay. Yeah. Like, Olivia is Artie a bad chef? Like, when they open the new Vesuvio and Carmela and Rosalie are eating there.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that bug in your salad. And like, there's a lot of instances of like stuff like that with Artie. He's like, is he a good chef? I don't know.
I think he is. I think it's at times it's. I mean, you remember towards the end there.
Well, the restaurant starts failing.
Yeah, because it's like he comes out there and he won't shut up.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
I love Tony's advice. Don't let the Mexicans do all the cooking for you. It's like, okay, you don't know how to run a restaurant. Right. I've worked in restaurants, and that's all they do. So
that's the best advice.
They need to do all the cooking. That's what they like to do. I don't know if they like it, but it's what they do.
It's certainly a fact of life right there.
Yeah, dude, another thing that's kind of interesting. Agent Harris kind of looks like he feels bad for Tony when they're doing the Livia tape. If you look at some of his facial expressions, he just looks very like he feels bad for Tony. Like the main, I don't know the fucking dude's name.
The guy that looks like Patsy.
Yeah, he just looks like he's like, yeah, you like that shit? Like, he's like really reveling in it, Like even at one point,
bad cop, right?
Tony's like, "What's your fucking problem?" I think Agent Harris genuinely likes Tony even in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then pulling a gun out of the fish is fun.
Yeah,
it's just fun. I don't know.
I just got my Coast Guard license. I just passed my Coast Guard test. That's what it is.
And then Melfi accepting Tony again after him threatening to beat the fuck out of her is pretty crazy.
Here's the thing with the whole telling Melfi to lam it.
I'm not talking about the lamb. I'm saying when he's like literally like, I'll break your face. No, that 50,000. The fact he could even get back in the building after that.
No, for sure.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, no, just on that, like him coming back and talking to her later and telling her to lam it and everything. Come on. Like, literally in like 4 hours. Well, granted, it might have been the next day, whatever. But within 24 hours, these problems were taken care of. You killed Chucky. You killed Mikey. Junior's in jail.
Yeah,
Who's left? Can't you? I mean, you already had Makazian following her. Can you have Christopher on Melfi detail for a little while?
Yeah, make sure she's okay.
I mean, Jesus Christ, you just fuck up her life.
Make one of her patients commit suicide. One of the patients
die, which, spoiler. But anyway.
Yeah. I mean, only what I think the reason they did that, had her lam it, is because she's still like staying in the hotel at the start of season 2, if you remember.
I know, that's what I mean.
But she doesn't go back till they kill Patsy's brother. So maybe like between 1 and 2, Tony's still doing damage control. You know,
sure.
Like he's got to kill like a shit ton of Junior's crew. Like we only saw the main guys get killed. You know.
Yeah.
That might be the only reason that she had to do that.
Yeah.
But honestly, if the bosses get killed, are they really going to care that much about killing a psychiatrist at that point?
Right. You're telling me these, and that's, you know, I mean that goes into a season 6 thing, but.
Don't gotta. We'll save it.
Just why I think Tony's alive is all. Because all of the head honchos besides Little Carmine are dead, and like Little Carmine didn't have, and so like.
Oh, that's not true. There's all the other families in New York who'd probably be pissed about the way season 6. That's a good conversation for season 6.
Yeah.
Artie's definitely the most relatable character too. As when you watch it, he's just definitely the most relatable of everyone. Just the working man who just hates his life. When he's talking in the church, he's like, I don't just hate men. Well, I hate all men.
I like the line. I like how they make him look like an oaf there, because he's like, they're like, I'm filled with murderous, whatever, urges.
Yeah. Well, and then, he's just like, I bring my kids here, but like my mind just wanders. It's like, yeah. When if I went to church still, that probably would be me.
When I do anything.
Yeah, literally. And also, Tony's very open with Carmela about the business. Like, he's just like, yeah, I'm going to kill Junior and Mikey P, basically, to her. He's never that open again in the series.
Yeah, and like
Carmela almost seems involved to a certain extent.
I think it's because it's so intimate with his mother, but like wording, also very careful, right?
Yeah, I'll take care of
Junior.
She knows.
I'll take care of Mikey P, which I thought was funny that's how he chose to say that. But
no, why didn't just say Palmise or just Mikey?
Yeah. Yeah, because then like the other, like when Janice kills Richie, literally next season, and you're like, so yeah, why didn't you just say like, well, Janice
gave Richie an early retirement?
Yeah,
yeah, it's just like he's never that open with her ever again, really.
Yeah.
Then Father Phil just letting himself in to Carmela's house at the end is so fucking creepy.
Father Phil
and wearing Jackie's fucking watch, like it's just
that's on Rosalie.
That is on Rosalie, but then to just be like,
because Father Phil is a little cuck.
Fair, but like he's just such a fucking, he's so creepy.
And I mean, he's over at Carmela's house just chugging wine that night.
The college episode,
yeah, it was so funny.
And just digging through Tony's fridge.
Yeah.
Like, olives.
Cajun stuffed olives?
Yeah. Yeah, he's the worst. I love Tony's glee when he knows he's going to kill Mikey. Like when he's in the morning, he's just like, morning, everyone.
Yeah. You sure are happy this morning, Dad.
And then, honestly, really last thing, Larry Boy just kind of disappears. from the show.
Yeah, for like a whole season, pretty much. Like, he like pops up at random times.
Well, I remember in season 6, I like when gets
that's
arrested
what
at the
it
movie
is.
premiere. I'm like, oh yeah,
yeah,
he's in the show.
Hey, Larry.
Like he gets mentioned in season 2 with that one dude who repeats himself. I can't remember his fucking name. The one, Albert. Is it Albert?
Okay.
The dude who, like, when Richie's like, imagine that, you go to jail, or you get a facelift, and 2 days later you go to jail, and then he repeats him. He's like, could you imagine that? You get a facelift, and 2 days later you go to jail. That character.
Yeah.
Like that's the only time he's like mentioned, I think.
Yeah.
Because that's one of his. That's like Larry Boy's number 2 or whatever.
Right.
I like that actor. Like I liked him in Goodfellas when he's the restaurant dude.
Treats me like I'm half a fag or something.
I think it'd been cool, even if he's like just a jail guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love that they said in Goodfellas that Scorsese would, or I guess Scorsese does this a lot. That like he'll tell somebody, he'll give somebody a different line that the character they're doing it with doesn't know. Yeah. And so like he said when he had for lack of a better name, because I don't know the actor's name, when he has Larry Boy. Say that he's like, oh, what do you want me to do? Kill the guy? And, and he goes, yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea. He said they didn't tell the dude playing Paulie, that he was going to say that, and that's why. And so that was like the, like that was his genuine like so
that's hilarious. No, that's good. Scorsese's awesome. Off topic, you seen the Curb Enthusiasm episode where Larry is doing a movie for Martin Scorsese?
No.
Great one. Off topic, sorry.
Well, no. Perfect segue. Tony doesn't like Goodfellas.
Oh, no. He definitely doesn't. Like I said, he definitely got through the first 2 hours. Like, this movie is fucking great.
Yeah.
If he didn't know about the Henry Hill stuff prior.
There's no way he doesn't.
Yeah, but then it would be funny him getting to the end just like, motherfucker.
I mean, that's definitely one of the messages of the pilot, right? Is like just one of the hidden ones in there that like mobsters probably don't like Goodfellas.
Yeah,
because of this.
The Henry Hill at the end.
Yeah, because they leave it as just sort of an
is Tony like Goodfellas?
Question. Where's Tony rate Goodfellas? And she's like, and then Meadows breaking back in her own house and then never comes back to it. And then when Christopher's sulking, he's like, oh, you can go Henry Hill on me, huh? Yeah. Yeah. He
definitely. I mean, I could see him liking it. Like he probably like only watches the first half. You know? Like once fucking Tommy gets killed, he's like, all right, that's where it ends.
It's over.
Well, if you haven't seen Goodfellas, sorry.
Okay. Came out in like 93 or 4 or 92 maybe.
Hey man, some people haven't seen it.
Is that 90? Is that the same year Gotti went away?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, season 1,
90, 2 years before. Good. You think Gotti liked Goodfellas?
Knowing Gotti,
probably not for the same reason.
I don't know. Knowing Gotti, if you said he's all flashy, he probably loved it. He probably loves when mobsters get betrayed like that.
Gotti's a real one.
Okay. Is he your buddy?
He's dead.
I know. It's just the way you talk about it. It's funny. It's like
I was 7 when he died. You
sure you didn't know him? You sure you didn't know him? I think I'm gonna. Someone needs to talk to you, Tyler. Nah, season 1, I love it, but 1000% the weakest season.
'Tis.
Unless you include season 6 as 2 seasons. Part 1 of season 6 is the only
First
one that's on the same level as weak. But even then, I'd watch season 1 of Sopranos almost over any other TV show. Mm-hmm. So
it was a good refresher. I won't be watching it again anytime soon because I watched it a couple times over.
It's fun to go back to, though.
I'm ready to, let go.
It'll be fun in like 3-4 years and watch it again.
Yeah, maybe. I'm ready to roll into season 2 and just roll around in it.
I mean, it's just
like
the
a
podcast.
pig and shit.
It's just gonna. I mean, the seasons get progressively better as we go. So, like 5. Can't wait.
Yeah,
can't wait.
Might do 5 twice.
Let's do a practice run of 5
right now. All right, let's go.
All right.
All right, thanks for listening, watching, whatever. Instagram, Twitter, Content Crisis, emails, Content Crisis Hotline, yahoo.com. Do some Sopranos back and forth. We're answering emails. Yeah, we'll suck a cock. All right, bye.